Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we're going to talk about baby chicks. We got some new baby chicks on the Homestead, and I wanted to show you what Tim's doing with those. We're going to put a new batch into our chicken coop, and I think we finally kind of decided, the direction we want to go with chickens. It's taken us a few years to finally figure out and do some experimentation to see what we like on the Homestead, what works well on the Homestead, and so Tim's going to talk about that with you today. So stick around.
Well, after about 4 years now of trying different types of breeds of chickens, I finally decided on the 2 breeds that we need here on the Homestead. So last week I need to replenish a few of the chickens, and so I got new chickens last week. I got a few Rhode Island Reds, and I got some Buff Orpingtons, and those are the only 2 breeds I think we need. The Rhode Island Reds, they seldom brood, but they lay a bunch of eggs. And the Buff Orpingtons, they lay eggs really well, and they breed. They'll brood their own birds, where the Rhode Island Reds will seldom ever brood. So that's what I got this last week. So I don't think I'm going to have to buy any more chickens now that I've decided on which breeds that I need. How I take care of the baby chickens, I've had them in the house for a week, and I bring them home and I give them their water. I put a rehydration solution in it. I make that with a half a teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of baking soda to a gallon of water. I give that to them for 3-4 days, and then after that I put a half a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar into the gallon of water to build their immunity system for about 2 weeks. I give that to them. But today I've had them in the house for, let's see, a week. Now we're going to move them outside because the nights are in the 70s, and so I can keep them outside now. Now when I keep them in the house, naturally they have their food and water, but I also put a kerosene lantern inside to keep them warm. What I do is I take a lantern and I fasten it to a block of wood so it won't knock over, so there's no really fire danger having them inside the house. It's not going to tip over. And that'll raise the temperature 10-15 degrees using a kerosene lantern. A lot of people use a heat lamp, but we don't have electricity. Okay, to keep them warm, I take aluminum sheeting and I set it on top of the plastic tote. As it gets cold, I can cover the whole top of the tote, or as it gets warmer, I just move the aluminum to allow for more ventilation. Food, and this water has apple cider vinegar in it. So the benefit of the apple cider vinegar is to build their immune system. Makes for a healthier chick. I even give it to the adults throughout the year also. Okay, here's my lanterns that I use at night. And I will take the lanterns and I put them underneath the sheet metal. Take that off. And they'll congregate back into the corner, and they'll stay warm that way. Yeah, we've been doing this for a number of years now and have had really good success, and we've learned this is what it takes if you're going to raise your chicks off-grid without electricity. Now the Australorps is one of the breeds that I've tried. Good breed, but they're kind of casual when it comes to brooding their chicks. I've had had some of them, they sit on their eggs for 2 weeks and say, oh, I'm done, and then they get off. This last Australorp sat on her eggs for 18 days and then decided, I'm done. 3 more days and they'd have hatched. So that gets a little frustrating. And the Australorps, after the eggs hatch, they don't take care of their babies quite as long. It might be 4 weeks they'll take care of them. But the buff Orpingtons, once they start to brood, they get in the zone, and there's just nothing that's going to disturb them. And once they get off, they're going to take care of their babies for 6 weeks. So the buff Orpington just seem like they're a much better mother than the Australorps. Aside from getting the Rhode Island Reds and the buff Orpingtons, which their traits are important to me, the number one thing that's important is that they're able to forage for their own food. I've had some breeds that all they did was just hang around the coop waiting for the next feeding. Because I take their food away from about an hour after sunrise, and then I give it back to them an hour before sunset. So they have to go forage for their own food, and the buffs and the Rhode Island Reds, they do really well at doing that. But I've had some, you take their food away, they just hang around in the coop, refuse to go out and find their own food. So I have no use for those type of breeds. Hey, if you like this video, please check out the list of these amazing folks. They make these videos possible. For more information, you can go to patreon.com/American Homestead. Check us out on Steemit and like us on Facebook. Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you next time on An American Homestead.